Hello everybody, welcome to my first video on the Uni Spoilers channel, and today we are going to be talking about a potential plot leak for Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, of course, before we begin the video, I just want to say that if you do enjoy and want to keep up to date with all of the latest MCU leaks from me, then make sure to subscribe, as well as like the video and turn on notifications. But with that being said, everyone, let's get right into it. So a few days ago, we did get the official trailer for the new movie Fantastic Four First Steps, which actually gave us a lot of insights into what the movie is actually going to be about. And a few days before the trailer came out, there was a supposed Fantastic Four plot leak that leaked on 4chan, and it got taken down shortly after. And a lot of the stuff in that plot leak actually matches with quite a lot of stuff that we've seen in the promotional arts, as well as the new trailer that was released a few days ago. So I'm going to go through that plot leak, and a lot of stuff does match with stuff that is in the trailer as well. So this could potentially be our actual real plot leak for the film. Of course, the movie is only 3 months away from releasing, so if we are going to be getting an accurate plot leak, it is going to be now. And of course, before I begin this video, I just want to say that of course there are going to be spoilers for the movie ahead, so if you don't want to get spoiled, then make sure to click off the video now. But with that being said, everyone, let's get right into the plot for Fantastic Four First Steps. So the film begins with a late night talk show celebrating 4 years with the Fantastic Four, with a retrospective of the origin and adventures so far. Now, this has been proven true because the very first scene in the official trailer shows the TV show host talking about the Fantastic Four. Now, the Fantastic Four are supposed to attend this event, of course, but can't, as they're busy fighting Red Ghost, who is actually going to be played by John Malkovich. A lot of people have been wondering who John Malkovich is going to be playing for a while now, so it seems that it has now been confirmed that he will be playing Red Ghost, and also his Super Apes. Paul Walter Hauser plays Mole Man, who is actually going to be the Fantastic Four's first villain, who lives in the underground kingdom of the Subterrana. Now, Mole Man is not actually going to be a bad guy, because he will end up helping the Fantastic Four later on in the movie. Now, in the trailer, we do actually get a little bit of a glimpse of the Subterrana as well, so that definitely does match up to this description. Anyways, moving on, the plot then says about Silver Surfer arriving on Halloween night. Of course, we do know Silver Surfer is, of course, in the movie. She was actually shown in the trailer, and she's played by Julia Carpenter. So Silver Surfer arrives on Halloween night, and at this point in time, Sue Storm is currently pregnant with Franklin Richards. The Fantastic Four confront her in the Fantastica, and the first lines are, "I herald his beginning, I herald you end, I herald Galactus." Johnny tries to chase her, but she flies into space where he can't flame on due to lack of oxygen, of course, because there's no oxygen in space, and the Fantastic Four go to space to confront Galactus. Sue goes into labor at this point, and baby Franklin is born. He has a rare genetic anomaly that gives him godlike molecular manipulation powers. Of course, we know that Franklin Richards is going to play a massive part in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, as he is the creator of worlds and Galactus is the destroyer of worlds. Now, this does actually kind of match up with the trailer as well. Of course, we know that Sue Storm is pregnant. It is announced and confirmed in the trailer. And we also know that Johnny Storm does also chase up to Silver Surfer. However, then he loses his flame on because there's no oxygen in space. We have seen actual footage of that. And then Silver Surfer kicks him off the board, and he ends up falling back down to Earth. Now, I feel like at this point of the plot, a lot of it was kind of known and expected. We knew about Franklin Richards being in the film, as he does play a very vital role for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, because he is the creator of worlds, and you've got Galactus, who is also the destroyer of worlds. And also we knew about Silver Surfer, who was played by Julia Carpenter. The only surprises kind of is that the fact that John Malkovich is playing Red Ghost, and also Mole Man is in this, and he will be a good guy. But besides that, everything else was kind of expected. But this is where the plot starts to get a bit more interesting. So Galactus offers to spare Earth if the Fantastic Four give Franklin Richards to him, as he plans to use Franklin's powers to revive his dead universe, hence why Franklin Richards is called the creator of worlds. But of course, naturally, the Fantastic Four refuse. What happens after this is Earth's population actually turns against the Fantastic Four because they refuse to give up Franklin, and at one point they storm the Baxter building and beat up the Fantastic Four's robot assistant Herbie. Now, this is quite interesting because we know that from all of the trailers, and also it has been confirmed by Marvel Studios, that in this film, the Fantastic Four are going to be like celebrities in this universe. They are the most famous superheroes to exist. They will renown, everybody loves them. So to see the population turn on the Fantastic Four will be interesting, to say the least. Now, Natasha Lyonne is going to be in this film, and she will be playing a character called Sharon, who is going to be a woman hiding Sue and baby Franklin when they go on the run. So, like I said about Mole Man before, of course, he's the first villain that the Fantastic Four do fight. However, he will end up turning good at the end of the movie and will end up helping the Fantastic Four. So Mole Man will actually shelter the Fantastic Four at the Subterrana, and Sharon later convinces Mole Man to send his Moloids to rescue the population and hide them in the Subterrana while the Fantastic Four fight Galactus on the surface. And we do, of course, see the Subterrana with all of the civilians in the trailer, so I think that this does match up quite nicely with that. The Fantastic Four defeat Galactus in the end, which is quite odd because a lot of rumors that were going around before and a lot of speculation by a lot of Marvel fans was that the Fantastic Four were going to lose. Hence, that's how they end up in the main MCU timeline, because we know that by the end of this film, they are going to be in the MCU to help with Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. But in the end, they end up defeating Galactus with the help of Silver Surfer and ride off into the subset as the public cheers for them. Mole Man and Sharon get together, and then it ends with 1 year later on the same late night talk show celebrating 5 years with the Fantastic Four, and the Fantastic Four are supposed to attend, but again, they can't because they're busy saving the world. And that is apparently the plot for Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, I think that overall the plot isn't too bad. However, it's the last part, the third act, that I really do not like. Specifically, the Fantastic Four winning against Galactus. Now, I get this is the first time that we are seeing them in the MCU, so it would look a bit bad if they end up losing the first time that we are seeing them. However, the thing is, this is the last film before Avengers Doomsday. We've got no setup or anything. We haven't seen RDJ's Doctor Doom in any of the Marvel films. I mean, if we go back to Infinity War, Thanos was the big bad villain. He was set up very, very nicely in all of the earlier Marvel films and all of the post-credit scenes. However, it seems that we're only going to be getting one post-credit scene with potentially RDJ's Doctor Doom. He's not going to be playing any part in the main story. And Galactus apparently loses as well. Now, I'm really hoping that they don't kill Galactus off. If they end up winning, I hope that Galactus just kind of goes away and just doesn't die, because I think that the fact that Fantastic Four are able to beat Galactus, who eats planets, is a bit crap. I'm really hoping they don't do a Gore the God Butcher where they just completely ruin the character. So, you know, I'm hoping that they do Galactus some sort of justice there. But what the post-credit scene is going to be, we don't know yet. However, I'm going to speculate, and it has to be something to do with Doctor Doom. They have to end up in the main MCU by the end of the film, so I'm guessing that it will probably end up being in the post-credit scene. And we do see in the trailers as well, Reed Richards writing on the blackboard, trying to make a basically multiversal jump machine. So I'm guessing that will probably have something to do with at the end post-credit scene there, because this is the last film that we are getting before Doomsday. So I'm really hoping that they don't mess that up. But there we go, everyone. With that being said, this is the end of the video. If you did enjoy, then why not subscribe? As always, like the video and turn on notifications if you want to keep up to date with all of the latest MCU leaks from me. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about the plot for Fantastic Four First Steps. Again, this could be fake. However, a lot of the stuff that is in this plot does match up with what we've seen from the trailers. So there's a good chance that a lot of this is going to be real. And I'll talk to you guys soon. So peace out. See you later and bye-bye.